All right, we are back for war number 2 of the season. We're up against Three Realms, who is a kind of conglomeration of some other alliances in the past. Needless to say, they have a lot of Masters level players who know what they're doing, so we needed to be really tight to try to get our first win of the season. I'm starting off the war with sort of an easier fight, and then it's going to kind of ramp up in difficulty as I go and become a little bit more important to focus. But this first fight is Path 8. The thing to worry about is return policy. Essentially, it's a trap if you are trying to nullify too many buffs on the opponent, because then you won't gain power, they will gain a lot of power, essentially. So the way to play this with Doom is just don't throw your special attacks, don't throw your heavy attacks. And for someone like CMM, I just want to bait her special ones. And after missing a ton of dexes on the Grandmaster this past week, I was being extra careful with those special ones. The energy damage from my basic hits as well as the shocks are just ticking her down in no time. I just have to execute, and it's a very easy fight. Don't even have to throw any special attacks, and she goes straight down. So no issues there. But obviously, if I went in and played Dr. Doom like you would normally play Dr. Doom with the heavy attacks and staggers and special ones and stuff, I could have seen myself getting hit by an unblockable special 2. So for this war, I helped in the planning, and I made a mistake pretty early on, which was to assume that Falcon could take this node. But I soon discovered, as you see there quickly, that they have 100% increased defensive ability accuracy, which means his evade countering won't work. So he would probably still be able to get the fight down, but I decided to save him for a mini boss fight later and to just go in and nuke him down with Elsa, since he was only a 5-star. So the only thing to worry about here is he has the chance to go unblockable if I get too many debuffs on me, which can happen from the porker poppers or anything else from the node. I want to be baiting special ones because that's just the way easier special to bait. I want to watch out for those heavy attacks. I should be able to shrug these debuffs. And the other pro tip is throw your special one as soon as you get it, because the only way that he's going to evade you is if his spider nonsense gets up to 6, which will not happen if you use your special ones. So as you can see, the 5-star goes down very quickly and isn't an issue. The only way that he would start evading and going unblockable on me is if I stayed over a bar of power for any long period of time, and he would have built up his nonsense. So we were able to get through that pretty easily. Next up is another easy fight. We have Silver Surfer here. He'll go unblockable if I have 3 armor breaks on me, which is pretty easy to happen if you're anybody but Doom happens to be armor break immune. So the reason people still place him here is probably because it forces you to bring Dr. Doom. But Dr. Doom is so good that like forcing you to bring him isn't really a thing. It's kind of nice. So what I do here is I heavy him into the corner, and then I sort of do a stand-up intercept with the special 1. That's going to give me the most power possible, and I'm just trying to build to my special 3, which I'm able to do. And at this point, we just operate in our normal Doom cycle, which we've all seen a million times, and that's the way to take this fight. There's really no issues here. If you don't know what a Doom cycle is, it's basically you throw the special 3, you push them to red bars, you do medium, 3 lights, 2 mediums, a special 1, and then you have an unblockable special 2 ready, and most things will die after that. So that's that, and no issues there. Obviously, if for some reason I couldn't bring Dr. Doom, it would be a more difficult fight, but when it's Doom, we're fine. And lastly, the reason I assigned myself here was that I wanted to be able to take this void with Elsa. I've talked about this fight and shown it on my channel before. I think she's the perfect counter to this fight because of the built-in intercepts. Just waiting for the fight to load. Obviously a little nervous with all the bugs in the game if it's going to actually load, but it does. And the way I start the fight is to dash back so that when he performs a medium and I perform a well-timed block, we get the intercept. And there we go. If I just allowed him to take a light at me and I did my well-timed block, it would not count as an intercept. So I have a fatigue on me. It's starting to reduce my health. I'm waiting for it to shrug. It's taking a little longer than I would like, but it eventually gets off. And now the way that I usually play Elsa, I have guides to her on my channel, but essentially I get rid of the behemoth busters, which are the light ending ones. of your combos. And then I like to throw a special 1, which I did. And now we have an increased power rate, which can help us build to a special 2. The way I like to dex his special 1 there is to dash in and out, as you just saw. And now we have a special 2 ready, which is total overkill, and he goes down. So once again, Elsa just perfectly countering that node. I'll take that node all day, always feel good about it, and saves us from a death there for sure, because it's a lot harder with certain other champs. And now the final fight of the match is going to be Falcon against this MODOK with Hazard Shift. And I think this battle group doesn't typically send Falcon here, but I have taken this fight at least once before and did some duels and felt pretty confident in it, especially if I boosted up. I decided to do a combat regen boost here just because I expect to take a little bit of block damage at the beginning to get some openings. But I'm thinking about my fight, how am I going to start it? And what I want to do is to get locked on as fast as possible. So kind of like the last fight, dash back right away, get locked on. Fortunately, he played right into it. When you bait the heavies, you only need to dash back once and then you're out of range. Block bait a little bit, do the same thing. Don't need to create that much distance. I'm going to save for my special 2. So I'm not going to throw a special on this round. Also of note with this fight, it's not that bad if you do get a few of the poisons or incinerates on you, because they're not going to do that much damage. As you can see, I'm healing back most of it with willpower. The worst thing that can happen is if you get cornered, because you are going to have to dash back again to get locked on. And if you lose your ground in the fight and you end up in the corner, that's when you get into trouble. So I would rather take a poison and just have it tick a little bit, because it's not going to kill me. Need to bait the special 1s. I'm much more confident with the special 1s. Hopefully he throws one here. He does. I'm pushing him back into the corner, and we get that timing just right with locked on. I didn't feel confident in that evade, so I just blocked it, which isn't that much of a deal because this is the last fight of the day for Falcon. And now just waiting to get locked on again. Get it? We're hitting him. I know he's going to go down. I just need to really be safe. Maybe bait one more special 1 and we should be good to go. And waiting for that special 1, he throws it. I'm hoping this combo kills him, and it does. So with enough boosts, that is not a scary fight. The only thing I will say is that Falcon can sometimes get poisoned or auto-blocked or incinerated because MODOK has the flux ability, which brings his ability accuracy over 100 at times, which means that the negative 100% reduction will sometimes fail. But again, that's not a fight-ending thing. You just have to watch out to occasionally get auto-blocked, occasionally get poisoned or incinerated. But in that case, he was able to shut it down the whole fight, and we didn't have a problem. So we are in line to win this war. It's not quite over yet, but fingers crossed we get our first victory of the year. And I helped plan this one, and it went pretty well. I did make a couple mistakes, and I can maybe another YouTuber can comment on what those were, but overall it went pretty well, and I felt pretty good about my fights, and we'll catch you in the next one.